together with media regulators is needed. And we were able together to eliminate this point and draft the law in the proper terms that issues in the market. We have a very difficult situation in Kosovo where copyright in Kosovo. This represents another barrier for doing business. In today's global economy, digitalization plays a major role in this sector back. In terms of fiscal reform, long corporate income tax has been a big barrier for burdens that they face today. Thankfully, it has passed the government at this point, and we would like to thank the government of Kosovo for. And second, the cases that have gone to the Supreme Court will probably follow to.
I don't want to go and repeat myself what the Minister of Finance said, because I think he quite well rounded up what Kosovo has done in order to improve the environment. I still believe there is plenty to do. I meet investors, both that are present in Kosovo and potential investors who express concerns on many issues that were mentioned today. And that will be also my focus today, to see how we can improve from now on the environment even better, so that we make it more friendly for the investors. There were a few things that were not mentioned, which I think is worth mentioning. First of all is, I didn't hear anywhere the law on foreign investors in Kosovo. It's a recent legislation which basically guarantees and protects investors, foreign investors that are in Kosovo. It gives an additional layer of protection. And besides the law, that we have signed bilateral investment treaties with many countries, both in European Union and even further. And these bilateral investment treaties play additional role in protecting investors coming from those countries that we signed agreements. And this is just to make sure that investors that are present in Kosovo feel better, feel like at home, and they are protected during the operations here. In addition to this, also we need to mention the law on strategic investment. The law on strategic investment has passed in the previous government as a standalone legislation, but now during the recent months, about 3 months ago, we finalized the secondary legislation which made the law effective, basically. And the law on strategic investment, I think personally, is the biggest potential to work with foreign investors directly as a government to bring them to Kosovo, or the existing one to expand their operations. And this includes industries, for example, that I am working on, the energy sector, the waste management sector, which has a great potential, the ICT sector, and the mining sector more specifically, all have potential to use the law on strategic investment, so that the government can directly negotiate with them whatever deal they want to do for an investment. This law basically opens the door to the government to enter one-to-one arrangement, or let's say negotiations, because until now we had to open it through PPP or tendering processes, and we never were able to identify who are the ones that are gaining this big project. We had the case with Telecom of Kosovo, and somehow when we have such big strategic projects, Kosovo as a country that is still without a big experience attracts speculators and kind of companies that make sure that the case ends in arbitrage, and then they just get a few millions from Kosovo. And this is what we want to avoid. And the law on strategic investments gives us the flexibility to target the best brands of the sector. For example, I want to target, let's say, Mercedes-Benz of the mining industry, whoever they are, and to try and bring them to Kosovo, and then make sure that they have a good experience. And that's how we improve the image of the country. We improve also, of course, we bring bigger brands in Kosovo. So now, going back to the energy sector, we are aware that the energy sector has lots of problems. I mean, for the last time that we invested in new generation capacity was 40 years ago. It was in 1984, almost 40 years ago, when we built the Kosovo B power plant. And the first power plant, Kosovo, was built in 1964. So we are talking about two main assets that supply Kosovo with 90% of energy demands. They are fully depreciated, and nothing has been done to improve them besides some small rehabilitation projects. As a result of this, now we have signed this new agreement in December last year to build a new power plant, and this will open the door for new capacities that are much more stable. Just to take a comparison, the new power plant will have a production, generation of electricity consistency about 93% of the time. So the 7% includes the regular rehabilitation process that goes on a yearly basis, while the Kosovo A works at about 50–55% of the time. So this gives you the idea of about the stability of generation of electricity for the businesses. And we are aware that many production companies that operate in Kosovo have a huge challenge, coming myself from private sector as well, had huge challenges with electricity cuts that were done without a proper notice, and that causing us lots of increased costs for the production. This is what we want to avoid. There are researches that says that about 300 million euros are the losses for the private sector because of energy cutoffs that we have on a regular basis. And that's why we are taking it as a top priority to invest in the energy grid, in new capacity generation, and in energy efficiency measures to make sure that at least we improve the environment. The other challenge is that Kosovo has a specific case because in the winter, we consume twice more energy than in the summer.